Today, we have the format you've all been waiting for, starter bases, and not just 2 or 3, but 5 at once. For those of you who are tired of building the same thing every single wipe, today I'll show you how to replace your usual base with something more impressive. The problem with most starter bases is pretty much the same. No shooting floor, little space for storing resources, and the only advantage is that they're easy to build and have an airlock to protect against going deep. No. I want to show you super compact starter bases that include everything you need for the beginning of your wipe. Boxes, a repair bench, furnaces, workbenches, and even beds. I'll rank all 5 bases in my personal top, and each one will be better than the previous one. Some will feature insane shooting floors, others will have bunkers, and some will include unique and incredible solutions. Anyone can build these bases as they're designed to be as simple as possible. First, I'll showcase each base, then I'll show you how to build it, and I'll do this 5 times in a row. We'll start with the smallest base and end with the one I personally use to start my wipe. If you like this format, don't forget to drop a like and I'll definitely make more. Let's get started. As I mentioned, we start with the smallest base. This base is perfect for those unsure how long they'll play today, but certain they need an unlootable TC, plenty of storage boxes, shooting angles on 2 sides, and 2 walls protecting the loot. Let me give you a tour of this base from the inside. Agreeably, for a starter base, it looks quite appealing. The entrance to this base is located on the 2nd floor. If the first 2 doors are left open, they create an airlock. Thanks to this solution, it will be difficult for nakeds to enter your base against your will. To the right is a path leading deeper into the base, and to the left you'll find a research table and additional windows for shooting. Moving further in, there's a pixel peak shooting position, an excellent feature for a solo base. Shooting positions are located on both sides, making this base a great choice for popular areas. Through the garage door, you'll find a drop down to the lower level. Here, you'll also find hidden storage boxes concealed behind rugs, which can be a serious challenge for inexperienced raiders. The ceiling accommodates 3 large boxes, which can either store hidden loot or serve as a quick drop-off point so you don't need to go downstairs. This area also includes a shotgun trap, a repair bench, and an electric furnace. From here, you can descend to the ground level, which serves as your main loot room. If the side double doors are open, an airlock is created, blocking any further access. Behind these double doors are your side loot rooms. In the center, I've placed 2 vending machines, behind which lies your TC. The TC in this base is loot-proof, and its upkeep is shown here. You can stock it for a full week if needed. Additionally, there are always at least 2 walls protecting the TC from any side. Now let's build it. We start with a foundation of 1 square and 3 triangles. Build walls around the entire perimeter, leaving an opening in the center for your main entrance. Cover everything with ceilings and then you can start upgrading. I'll upgrade everything directly to stone and I recommend you do the same, especially at the beginning of your wipe. Place your tool cupboard directly opposite the double door in the center of the base. At this stage, you'll only have 1 door, but that's temporary. As you gather more resources, you'll be able to add additional double doors for better security. On each side of the tool cupboard, place your first loot rooms with large boxes. If you're an experienced player, you can also add small boxes next to them to maximize storage space. However, this isn't necessary for beginners. Since you won't have vending machines at the start to protect the cupboard, you can temporarily place your first workbench and a furnace in their spot. Once your base expands, you can relocate these items. Make sure to add double door frames next to the loot rooms and install doors that open toward the center of the base. This will create an airlock to protect you from door campers. Place sleeping bags in the center of the base. If you're playing with friends, you can add more sleeping bags to ensure everyone has a spawn point. Next, we'll start building the second floor. Initially, you'll use a furnace to climb up to the 2nd floor, but once you've unlocked the 2nd workbench, you can replace it with the bench for easier access. Be sure to leave space for a temporary external structure to access the base. However, keep in mind that this structure may be destroyed, so the faster you finish the main build, the better. For the 2nd floor, place a single door as the main exit, not a double door. Around the door frame, build low walls and full walls to frame the area. Install a frame for a future garage door and then move up to create your first shooting position. This spot needs to be carefully constructed to provide maximum coverage and defense. Use low walls to level the area and then upgrade everything to stone. If you have enough resources, you can upgrade it to sheet metal or even HQM. Remember, you'll need to install 3 additional loot boxes in the ceiling on the 2nd floor. These should be placed before you cover the area with ceilings. These boxes can be used to store extra resources or for a quick drop-off point, so you don't have to run down to the ground floor. On the opposite side, where you've left a window opening, create Create a pixel shooting position, add 2 door frames and a ceiling, then use a low wall to build upward. Place 2 triangular roofs, which will create the pixel angle needed for effective shooting. This is a simple and efficient design that allows you to control the surrounding area without exposing yourself to direct fire. Next to the pixel peak, install 1 large and 1 small boxes for storage. Below them, place an electric furnace and a repair bench. Once you have access to it, install a shotgun trap for added security. Now, let's add some buffer walls to the base. On the side with the pixel peak, add 2 buffer zones on either side. Then move to the opposite side and repeat the process. However, on this side, you'll also create the main entrance to the base. For the entrance, add square foundations on either side and build roofs that face each other. Be sure to align the roofs correctly so they don't block access to the base. If the roofs connect in the center, you won't be able to enter your base, so pay close attention. Once this is done, build the main entrance by adding window frames around the perimeter and a single door frame at the end. Install doors wherever possible, and I recommend using garage doors for better protection. Without garage doors, you won't have a functional airlock here, so choose wisely. Move up to the next floor and remove the double door to continue construction. In the center, place 2 low walls and a frame for a triangle hatch. Install triangular roofs similar to those used earlier. Add solar panels to power the base and protect it from campers. Return to the cupboard area and add vending machines on either side, leaving a small gap between them for access to the cupboard. This setup makes your cupboard unlootable, increasing the base's overall security. Replace the temporary furnace used for access with the second workbench. Place a small box underneath the workbench and a furnace next to it. Across from the workbench, place a bed and a sleeping bag. As you unlock garage doors, install them wherever possible to significantly upgrade your base's defense. So this is how the first base turned out. Ahead, you'll find 4 more starter bases. And this month, I've already released 2 new private bases on my Patreon. For example, today I uploaded this one. It's also a starter base, but unlike others, you can survive an entire wipe in it. Just think about it. For half a box of resources and 300 HQM, you get 5 HQM bunkers in such a tiny base, and that's already 75 rockets worth of raid cost. On top of that, there are hidden stashes, turrets, tons of boxes, and shooting floors covering all directions. This base is simply a dream come true. Starting today, I'm announcing a limited week of discounts. This means that all subscription tiers on my Patreon will have a 50% discount. For just $3.75, you'll gain access to these 2 bases, as well as all the other content I published there. And that's already a collection of at least 22 private bases for any playstyle. The discounted Patreon link will be in the description. Subscribe, you won't regret it. The next base is a fully fledged fortress for the start of your wipe. It features an oil refinery for processing crude oil, a spiral bunker for nighttime protection, and one of the best shooting floors available today. Additionally, if needed, you can reinforce this base from any side, so you'll have no problem securing it further. Let's start the tour of this base from its backside. Behind this single door is where your oil refinery is located. On the opposite side, you'll find the entrance to the base, which is cleverly built using a sulfur ore and a single door. Here, you not only get a great view through this beautiful glass window, but also have access to the deeper parts of the base. Plus, there are some amazing shotgun traps here. Imagine how many naked players could die in this spot. The way up is designed using the familiar furnace jump up, and here, with your permission, I'll spawn my assistant, who I'll definitely use a bit later.
Yeah, boy.
From here, you can access the shooting floor, which I'm particularly proud of. Not only can you shoot long distances in all directions, but take a look at these unique peek down positions. Have you ever seen something like this in a starter base? Additionally, from the shooting floor, you have full control over the entrance doors. That's exactly why I needed my assistant. The shooting floor also features 2 beds, and in the small boxes, you can store everything you need for online defense. You'll also find a medium battery here for powering the electric furnaces. Access to the first floor is blocked by the bunker, which can only be opened from the inside. To open it, you'll need to destroy 2 twig ceilings. As you can see, I destroyed the first one, but it didn't collapse. To break the second ceiling, the base owner needs to remove this glass piece and shoot at the far twig ceiling with a bow or crossbow. Once the ceiling breaks, the bunker will open. The tool cupboard maintenance is right in front of you. As with the previous base, you can refill the cupboard for up to a week in advance. Other than that, you'll have everything you need for a successful start to survival here. A workbench, sleeping bags, plenty of storage boxes, a repair bench, and more. To exit the first floor, just follow my steps. First, place the furthest ceiling near the cupboard, then through the wall attach a second ceiling to it. Now you can safely jump out of the bunker. To close the bunker, simply install a spiral staircase through the wall and upgrade it to any material. Now let's build this base. First, we need to place 5 triangular foundations exactly as I'm doing it. Then, along the perimeter, add standard walls. After that, cover everything with ceilings and create an exit through a double door. I'll upgrade everything to stone right away since this is a starter base. However, don't rush to place the tool cupboard yet, it goes in an unconventional spot. The far triangular foundation will be used for the bunker, this same triangle will also be used for the cupboard. Pay close attention. The cupboard should be placed inside the triangular hatch frame. This is important for the future bunker. Now for the layout, on the left side, place storage boxes, on the right, place a workbench, and in the center, place a sleeping bag. Behind the workbench, you can also install a furnace. Next, on the left side, we need to build another loot room. In this loot room, you can either create a starter furnace area or set it up in its final version right away. In its final version, there will be a shelf in the middle of the wall and 4 large storage boxes. It's all pretty straightforward, so there shouldn't be any issues setting it up. As soon as you get access to doors, install them. At this stage, once you've gathered enough resources, you can start building the exit to the second floor. While I have a free minute, I want to give a special thanks to everyone who watches, likes, and comments on my videos. I think you've noticed how the quality of my content keeps improving, and I really want to say that this wouldn't be possible without your support. Special thanks also go to all my paid subscribers on Patreon. For the newcomers, I'll remind you that every month I release 4 videos on base building in Rust. 2 of those videos come out on YouTube before the global wipe and the 2-week wipe, and the other 2 are released on Patreon during the same intervals. Thanks to this, my videos remain ad-free. Thank you. Now, at this stage, we need to create a proper entrance to our base. It will be built directly opposite the door on the second floor. First, we add an additional wall in this spot. Then we add 2 triangular foundations. This is where the entrance to our base will be. Pay attention. The door must be placed on the right side so that you can later control it from the shooting floor. Don't forget to add half walls above so you can place a shotgun trap there later. In this spot, we place a half wall and put a railing on top of it. It must be done exactly this way, or you won't be able to complete the shooting floor later. The access to this level will be done via a furnace. Now, using the furnace, we climb to the second floor, and to the left of the single door, we need to place a double door frame and put a shop front there. That's pretty much it for the entrance group. Don't close it off with ceilings just yet. Now, we move to the opposite side of the base, where our initial climb was located. This is exactly where your future oil refinery will be placed. Even if you don't have it yet, it's better to prepare this room in advance. Then once you have it, you can simply come here and place it. Pretty convenient, right? Now let's create the shooting floor for this base. To make everything clear, you first need to climb up to the 3rd floor. This will also be done via a furnace, as we need to use all the space in the base. Next, we go to the triangular corner and place 2 half walls here. After that, place 2 frames on top of these half walls and 1 frame in the center. Naturally, it's best to upgrade everything here to stone. Upgrade the half walls to metal if you have enough resources, otherwise they can be easily soft-sided. Now we move to the other side. Our task is to replicate everything exactly the same way. And don't forget that I've launched my own building server. You can join it and enjoy practicing building this base. All the connections to the building server will be in the description. Now that we have 2 sides ready, we can move on to the 3rd side. All you need to do there is simply place a square ceiling. However, note that the square ceiling won't place anywhere just yet. The reason is that all the double door frames on the second floor need to be upgraded to sheet metal first. Once you've done that, the issue with the red square ceiling will disappear and you'll be able to place them on all 3 sides. However, keep in mind that these square ceilings can be soft-sided from below, so they must be upgraded to at least metal. Next, you need to add low railings to these square ceilings. This should also be done on all 3 sides. After that, place double door frames in these areas and upgrade them to standard stone. This is very important. Since the base is symmetrical, we repeat this on all 3 sides. Now, between our railings, place 2 half walls on each side. Avoid adding any shooting positions between them, as you could get killed while peeking down. Once all the half walls are in place, grab triangular roofs and place them along the perimeter of the entire shooting floor. Once you've done this, you'll be almost fully enclosed. Well, almost. There will still be a small triangular gap. Let's close it now. Place 2 half walls and add 1 ceiling on top, then another slightly lower one. The lower ceiling is for a medium battery, which you can connect to your electric furnaces that will undoubtedly appear during your gameplay. Finally, for the shooting floor, all that's left is to add campfires on each side. Once you've done this, you can confidently say the base is fully built and it's time to move on. The next base looks fantastic. It features a huge number of doors and shooting angles, allowing you to fire not only at long distances but also under the base. And if you manage to set up turrets, well, you'll see everything for yourself. The entrance to this base is implemented through the second floor, just like in the first base. Here, you can take a look through this wonderful window. Additionally, if you open the second door, a turret will be staring right at you. Even if all the doors are open, no one can get through because of the airlock. Right at the entrance, you'll find a locker. I recommend storing comeback sets here or even some fun outfits. But the features don't end there. On this floor, you'll also have a repair bench and a research table. At the far end, there's an unlootable locker. If you suddenly hear someone running under your base, you can open the garage doors from here, revealing turrets. This can be done from almost every side of the base. Above the descent, there's an access point to the shooting floor. This area also features the garage door trick, and from here you can control the first entrance doors to your base. On the attic level, you'll not only have additional space for storing resources, but also a complete shooting setup in all directions. And on top of that, you can open the garage doors directly from here at any moment. If someone happens to be there, the turrets will immediately begin their work. If you don't have turrets, this area can simply be used as additional shooting coverage. Overall, it turned out to be quite balanced and interesting. Now we need to head down to the first floor of this base. Here you'll find 3 furnaces, 2 sleeping bags, a level 2 workbench, and a loot room with space for 4 large boxes. And as usual, at the end of this loot room, behind the glass, you'll find your tool cupboard. Its upkeep is displayed for you now. That's the base I've designed, and now I'll show you how to build it. The construction starts with triangles. Makes sense, right? You need to place a full circle of triangular foundations, leaving out just one triangle. Next, place walls around the entire perimeter and create the entrance with a double door. Cover everything with ceilings, and so far it's pretty standard. This base doesn't have a bunker. It doesn't need one because there are plenty of doors. However, I would still recommend making the tool cupboard unlootable. To make it unlootable, you need to place it inside a triangular hatch frame. Right next to the cupboard, you'll have a loot room spanning 2 ceilings. Now let me show you how you can set this up. On the left, place 4 large boxes and as many small ones as you can fit. To the right, place a workbench and a furnace. In the center, lay down 2 sleeping bags. And if we look at all of this from the player's perspective, we can see that it's quite convenient to use everything here. And if you need more doors, you can place them everywhere. Once you gather your courage and are ready to create the exit to the second floor, go ahead and build it. The climb will be done using a furnace, but pay close attention here. I'm placing 2 half walls, that's mandatory. The exit is made with a double door. For now, you'll use a twig extension to get into the base. However, if you make some enemies, they'll definitely destroy it. So as soon as you have extra resources, we'll start building up the second floor. The key is to do everything exactly as I do in the video. I'm hidden joint, 0 mistakes, so feel free to copy what I'm doing. The exit to the outside will be through a single door. Then place double door frames everywhere. If you're fortunate enough to be a wealthy owner of this base, I recommend upgrading this floor to metal. And of course, upgrade the ceilings to HQM if resources allow. You can already guess what this window is for. It'll be your starter shooting floor. Obviously, you won't have garage doors at this stage, so at least use regular doors. For climbing into the base, you'll use the twig roof we've already set up. Overall, it's straightforward and there shouldn't be any problems. But if you're curious about how everything looks from the outside, this is how the base appears at this stage. Now let's add additional walls to the first floor so that we have at least 2 layers of walls on all sides. To do this, simply place triangular foundations around the perimeter of the entire base. Then, along the entire perimeter, install walls. If you have 25 or 50 HQM at this stage, definitely upgrade the wall behind the tool cupboard to HQM. The rest can be upgraded later. Now look, where we have the single window frame, we need to prepare the setup for a future unlootable locker. Once the setup is done, raise the walls to a height of 2 floors. Right after that, I recommend creating a proper entrance to the base. You can already upgrade the twig roof here, but I'm still leaving it as twig because I just really like how it looks. The doors in this spot need to be placed so they open toward each other to create an airlock. To prevent anyone from climbing in, be sure to place wooden barricades. Next, we need to move to our shooting floor. Here you must place a window frame and a triangular hatch frame. Then, around the entire perimeter where possible, add low walls, railings. Now, slightly above, we need to place 6 triangular hatch frames. In these spots, install triangular ceilings. If you have extra metal, definitely upgrade them to sheet metal. It only costs 50 and it'll prevent them from being soft-sided. Now drop down slightly lower and place triangular roofs around the entire perimeter. They install quite easily easily, so you'll definitely get it right. To better see the shiny heads of nakeds, make sure to place campfires here. Finally, we need to prepare the setups for future turrets. Even if you don't have turrets at this stage, create these setups anyway. It will discourage those who know what they're doing. If you don't have turrets or garage doors, you can simply seal everything with regular double doors, or you can leave it open entirely if you're really struggling for resources. This step should be done on every side of the base where there's a window frame. There are window frames on 3 sides of the base. We've completed one side, and the other 2 will appear through the magic of editing. By the way, how do you like these transitions with sudden appearances? If you enjoy them, be sure to let me know in the comments. Now look, we've placed the turrets, but I don't recall us installing even a medium battery yet. The battery should be placed on the upper shelf in the main loot room. To install it, first, you'll need to clean up the space a bit, add a ceiling and place the battery. Once it's in place, you can put everything back where it was. Next, to make our base look more appealing, we need to finalize it. To do this, add 2 triangular foundations around the entire perimeter of the base. I'm upgrading these to wood because they don't provide any real protection, it's purely for aesthetics. Then place triangular roofs on these triangular foundations also around the entire perimeter of the base, and that's basically it. You can move on. The next base can honestly be called a home for a professional player. Tons of shooting angles, an oil refinery inside the base, beds, plenty of boxes, and much more. You'll see everything for yourself now. From the outside, it looks like an unassuming little base. However, inside you'll find plenty of secrets. The first 2 doors, when open, create an airlock. Behind the second door, there's a shotgun trap aimed right at it. You can quickly drop resources into a small box here. You also have shooting positions immediately available. You can shoot at both long distances and slightly below. Right above this area, you'll have another loot room for quickly stashing resources. Nearby, you'll find a combat spawn with 2 beds. On all 3 sides, there are pixel shooting angles, making it extremely difficult to kill you. You can quickly respawn here and get back to whatever you were doing. Behind the garage door, there's an identical loot room as well as a way to go down. Below, you'll find even more shooting positions from which you can practically shoot right up to your front door. You'll also have a mixing table, a storage box, and 2 sleeping bags here. If we continue heading further down, you'll see that I've placed the oil refinery here. Professional players always need more fuel, so having an oil refinery inside the base is a big plus. Behind this door, there's another loot room and a repair bench. Slightly higher up, you can control the entrance doors to your base. The tool cupboard in this base is unlootable and is located behind the vending machines. To access it, you'll need to remove the single door and look into this spot. The cupboard upkeep is now in front of you. Well then, let's start building. First, we need to raise the foundation height by half a floor. On the right side, we add 2 triangular foundations and on the left 1. The exit is made in the center through a double door. I personally recommend building this base near a busy area because this base will have shooting floors covering almost all directions. If you have them, you should definitely use them. Place the TC here and opposite it you'll have a loot room with 4 large boxes. Upgrade the ceilings for them to stone. Now let's quickly go over the layout. On the right you'll have a loot room for 4 boxes. Next, place a workbench with a furnace. In the center, place your sleeping bags. Let's take a look at this from the player's perspective. As you can see, it turns out fairly spacious. If you need an additional door, go ahead and place it. Now, near the double door, place a low triangular foundation. On the left, we place a half wall, and on the right, a high stone foundation. Now place a double door frame on the half wall and a single door frame on the square foundation. This is where your future ramp peak will be. When you feel the need for additional furnaces, you can place them here. If you place them evenly, you can fit 3 at once. Next, this spot will later hold your oil refinery. Near the oil refinery, there will be 2 high triangular foundations. On these foundations, place half walls and cover them with a ceiling. Take note, the lower square foundation should not be upgraded. If you upgrade it, you won't be able to place the oil refinery later. Here, place 2 window frames. This will be your initial shooting floor. Directly above this area, you should place a lot room. The door we removed earlier from downstairs can be moved here. I upgrade everything to stone because this is a starter base, but if you already have resources, it's better to upgrade at least to sheet metal. And to prevent anyone from getting inside, make sure to place at least wooden bars. Now we need to create another part of our shooting floor. On the right side, along the edge of the square, we place 3 window frames. To the left, we create an exit from the base through a single door. This gives you 2 exits, one above the other. Make sure to place wooden chains so that no one can climb in. From the side of our 2 exits, we now make a proper entrance to the base. Here, it's crucial not to mess up. It's very easy to do so. Behind these half walls, one of your loot rooms with a repair bench will be located. Place a window frame here to prevent door camping. On the left, create an exit through a single door. In this spot, add only one window frame, and on the left side, place a full wall. This base can indeed be very confusing, and if you encounter any difficulties with this base or any other base from my channel, you can always reach out to my Discord. My team or I will definitely help you. If you're using my build server, I might even personally join to assist you. It doesn't happen often, but it does happen. To wrap up this section, place a low ramp here. Install doors on the exits so that they open toward each other, forming an airlock. Just above, add a box for a quick drop-off of resources. Now outside, to the right of our entrance, we add one more triangular foundation, then place a door frame. On it, we set 2 ceilings and 2 triangular roofs. Moving to the left, we need to add another extra wall. This wall connects to the TC, just so you know. Next, to the right, we need to create a pixel gap shooting floor. It's done in a very simple way. These triangular roofs can be upgraded to wood to avoid wasting extra resources. On this side, we will also have a pixel gap shooting floor, but it's built a bit differently. However, the principle remains the same. Now pay extra attention to the side pixel shooting floor because it's constructed differently than what we're all used to. At least on my channel, I haven't shown this method before. First, we place low walls in this spot, then add a ceiling halfway along the wall, attach another ceiling to it, and add another low wall. The final step is placing a triangular roof. Now, we go to the other side and do the same thing. Once you do this, your pixel gap shooting floor will be ready. Killing you through it when metal embrasures are placed will be very difficult. Now let's move on. Next, we need to add a triangular buffer zone so that there are at least 2 walls leading to the TC. Now let me show you the layout. Here we add a stunning lamp. Next, don't forget the Christmas stockings for that festive atmosphere. Above this area will be a loot room with electric furnaces. Here you will have the main combat spawn. To the right, there's a loot room with electric furnaces and storage boxes. Below, there will be another box with sleeping bags. Right under this spot will be the oil refinery. To the right, you will have another loot room and a repair bench. Now let me show you how to place a vending machine so your TC remains unlootable. First, we clear everything out of this space, then take the vending machine in your hand, and when it starts moving side to side like mine does, drag it to the right and place it. Now approach it from the side and easily loot the TC. Now we can move on. And here we are at the base I used at the start of my survival. I already have 20,000 hours in this game, and building something ordinary just isn't for me. So if you're looking for something unique, welcome. Right behind the first door, we have 2 shotgun traps. Naturally, these 2 doors create an airlock when open. Close the first door and jump inside. However, we'll still need this door, so keep it open. To the left, behind the green door, is a passage deeper into the base. Notice anything unusual? In fact, there's a shotgun trap placed here. You'd never imagine it's there, right? And just look at how it appears when it starts firing. For an inexperienced player, spotting such a trap will be very difficult, but now you know about it. Hiding a shotgun trap like this is pretty simple. It's done using a bear rug. Here, you can drop resources without needing to go downstairs. Behind the garage door, you'll find sleeping bags, electric furnaces, and a path leading up. This is where the battery for these furnaces will be located, as well as a cool shooting position aimed at the entrance doors. If we go further, behind the double door, you'll find 2 beds. I recommend selling random junk from your boxes in the vending machine. Behind this door, there's not only a micro peek, but you can also throw grenades through this little gap.
Oh shit, I'm sorry.
Why not, if the opportunity arises? Near this combat spawn, you'll have a couple of boxes. I recommend storing online defense items here. Syringes, grenades, building supplies, and so on. My favorite shooting floor is here, using triangular roofs. Naturally, if someone is on your roof, you'll spot them from here. I usually make my roof flat. I'm not a fan of attracting attention with various builds on the base roof. If I need to build something, like a garage for a mini-copter, there won't be any issues. Behind the double door, there's a drop and a ladder. This is also where the shop front is located. If you want, you can climb the ladder and take a look at whoever is door camping you. And if someone is actually there, you'll definitely be able to deal with them. Behind the single door, you'll have a loot room and a repair bench. Right above this spot, you'll have a ramp peak aimed at the entrance doors. On this floor, you'll also have 2 sleeping bags, 4 furnaces, a tier 3 workbench, and another loot room. You don't necessarily have to place the tier 3 workbench, I'm just showing you that it can fit here. The TC upkeep is right in front of you. Extremely cheap overall. Now, let's build it. When building this base, there's already some flexibility. You can start with a 1x1 square, or for example, as I'm doing right now, I begin with 1 square foundation and 2 triangular ones. I recommend placing the TC exactly as I'm showing in the video. Only this way will you be able to fit both the workbench and boxes with a shelf in this square. To add the shelf, we need to step outside the base and build a simple extension on this side. Once it's done, we demolish the extra parts and return to the TC. Now the shelf will fit perfectly without any issues. Later, when it's time to place the tier 2 workbench, you'll break the shelf, remove the first workbench, place the tier 2, and then return the shelf to its original position. The same actions will be needed when you get a tier 3 workbench. Add extra doors inside as needed and as resources allow. Next, pay close attention and don't make a mistake. You don't need to add a ceiling in this spot. This is where we'll have the climb to the second floor, and I'll implement it using the already familiar furnace method. To secure this area and ensure no one can climb in, you need to place 1 wall and 2 double door frames. In the future, we'll remove one of the double doors and replace it with a shop front. For now, the shop front is too expensive, so we'll deal with that later. This spot will also serve as another loot room with a repair bench. Initially, you can leave it in stone, but later it's better to upgrade it to sheet metal. Next, we place a foundation here and create a proper entrance to the base. If you already have shotgun traps at this stage, install them here. They often catch players off guard. To the right, we place a window frame and a low ramp underneath it. Be sure to add a square hatch frame in this location. It's needed to prevent anyone from climbing into the window, and is also absolutely essential for the airlock that will be here. Then, in this spot, we add a half wall and cover it with a ceiling. This ensures the airlock area is completely enclosed. Enter the airlock, and here we place a single door frame along with a half wall above it. Set the doors so they open toward each other. From the outside, your base should now look exactly like this. Next, exit the airlock and perform the following actions. This is where the climb to the third floor will be located. This is a record-breaking video length on my channel, and you can't even imagine how much effort it took me to create all of this. I'm truly grateful that you've watched up to this point. It's the greatest reward for me. If you also leave a like, you'll be absolutely priceless. Let me say right away that you can add extra walls for protection to all of today's bases, and the base I'm building now is no exception. Although the shooting floor might seem ordinary, it has one small feature. Here, you need to place a triangle hatch frame and then install a triangular roof in it. After that, add a chain link grill to the frame. This is necessary to make controlling the roof more convenient. Also, keep in mind that if you use the default stone skin, you won't be able to pass through here, so either upgrade it to stone with a skin or to standard sheet metal. Next, in this area, we place square ceilings, and above that we place triangular ceilings, with the exit being made through a double door. I want to extend a special thanks to my OP subscribers on Patreon, as well as everyone else who supports me there. Thank you, because it's thanks to you that I can continue doing what I do. I hope you really enjoyed these starter bases, and if you did, be sure to leave a like. Check out my other videos as well. Meanwhile, I'm off to come up with a new base design, though honestly I haven't decided yet. Maybe a 2x2 or a 2x1. Or do you want a tutorial on a shelter?